All right, so let's talk about some things that I think can help every single one of you that's brand new, that you have a need, want, desire to change your situation, right? You got this goal, so okay, so it always starts there. Why? Why are you doing this? And the why has to be very specific because your brain responds to specificity. Okay. Does that make sense? And hold on. So the brain reacts to very specific things. So, it's okay to say, well, I want to make 100,000 a year. Okay. That's somewhat specific. But something more specific is I want to make 2,000 a week. That's more specific than 100,000 a year because then it breaks it down to every week. So then it begs the question, what do I need to do to make 2,000 a week? And then you get with me and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do, how many leads you need to run, how many appointments you need to book, et cetera, right? Because I'm a numbers nerd, but it has to be that specific. But let me go further than that. It's like, why do you want to make 2,000 a week? What does that translate to you in your life? How does that change your life in a very specific way? Like, for example, you can take your kids to Disney World, okay, this year. That allows you to take your kids to Disney World this year and not, staying at the local motel, actually staying on the resort in a Disney resort. Maybe it'll be, but I don't know how many kids you have, but $5,000, $7,000. So maybe the part of the money you make, you put away for your kids. That you would make that dream come true for your kids. Can you imagine what that would be like? And I'm serious about that. Like, imagine what that would be like. Your kids, you know, going into the Magic Kingdom and they get to see, Mickey Mouse and, all the princesses, they got all the princesses walking around and the wonderment on their faces, that type of thing, right? What would that feel like? What would that look like for you? Can you hear your kids screaming with delight? Getting to that type of power of investing yourself in something that means something emotional to you. And that's how specific that you need your why. So your why needs to be specific, okay? Something you can identify. And that puts you on the road. That gets you on the road to changing your life because you got to have a reason why you're doing it. And the reason has to be the reason that keeps you doing it, right? So it's not the reason that, will just motivate you today. It's because it's easy to be motivated when you're positive. You have to know, you have to have that thought in your mind of when you're negative, when you feel like you've been beat up, everyone that you met with didn't buy, or you got no-showed 3 times today and you came home with nothing, right? Your why is to be so strong that when that happens to you, you're not going to quit because you think about what that why is for you. Okay. It's the why. I call it the why that makes you cry. I got a really good video on the why that makes you cry. You can look that up on my channel. I talk about the why that makes you cry. And it's the emotion that'll get you through the tough parts because the tough parts are emotional, but you counteract it with the emotion of why you want to do this. And that's why the specificity of it is super important. And it is worth spending time to do that. Like it takes, a dream session where you just spend a half hour thinking about all the reasons why you want and need to do this. And then it translates to how much money you want to make every week, right? I can help you with that part. You tell me 1,500 a week, that'll get you started. Let's go there. Let's get there. Let's get there in 6 weeks. Let's put a time frame on it. But it starts with the why. Okay, so why? So this is the what do you want? This is the coin that Andy talks about. What do you want? Okay, so you got that done. Number 2 is what to do to get it. Okay, so I'm going to give you some very specific things. First, mindset. Tell you what, man, your attitude will determine your altitude. That's a famous Zig Ziglar saying. Your attitude will determine your altitude. And so it's a powerful thing when you can use your mindset as a way to guide you as your GPS to where you want to go. You know the destination, which is your why. Getting there and making sure that you don't go down the wrong road. And if you do, how to get back on track. That's all like really mindset. It's the 6 inches between your brain that allows you to continue on and persevere. Okay. So what do you do to create and continue to create a proper mindset to hang in there in the insurance business, to hang in there 100% commission sales, to hang in there when things aren't going so good, to maintain when things are going great, right? To maintain the momentum, not getting lazy, right? And there's so many things that affect your attitude, you know, the mindset. And I call it the eye gate and ear gate. Okay. Eye gate and ear gate. What goes into your brain visually and what goes into your brain auditorially. Is that a word? Your eye gate and ear gate. That's what you have affecting you, what goes in, right? Because the bad stuff that goes in, only bad stuff comes out. The good stuff that goes in, only good stuff will come out, right? There's a great Bible verse on that, that Jesus talks about. The Pharisees are concerned of being kosher, right? Of washing things of what goes in the body. Jesus said, hey, man, that's not it. It's what comes out of your body that you got to worry about. It's the unclean thoughts and the unclean actions, the unclean words that come out of you is what really makes the difference. It's not so much, the stuff that you're eating, but it's the bad stuff that comes out. So here, when you can control your attitude and mindset through what you take in. So how do you do that? How do you protect yourself? Number one, you got to shield yourself from negative. Okay. So here's my analogy for the negative thing is that you wake up every morning refreshed. You've got a good night's sleep and you're brand new and you have your gas tank filled up, right? Your gas tank is filled up. And this is your gas tank. This is the cap. It's filled up with your positive attitude. Okay. What drains this out is news, negative news. Like, man, I would tell you, shut off the news. Like, if it's important enough, you're going to hear about it through other people. You just don't need to be bombarded with all the stuff going on in the Ukraine and all the stuff going on with student loans and all the stuff going on with gas prices and the economy and all that stuff just it drains this from you. News, just all that negative crap. You have to guard yourself. So stop watching the news. Stop exposing yourself to all the negative stuff out there. What's another one? People, negative people. Look, I know you love your sister, but if your sister is always ragging on you on being in the insurance business and being a negative influence, you don't need to hear that. Why stick around that? You love her, but if she's a negative influence on you, you need to get far away from them because you have to do everything to protect your attitude, everything to protect your mindset, what's up in here. So you got to distance yourself from negative people, right? Andy says this all the time. You are within $10,000 of the income of the top 5 people you hang around, right? So if you want to stay at, $75,000 a year, keep hanging around your friends that are making, plus or minus 10,000, 75,000 a year. But if you want to change how much money you're making, hang around the top 5 people that are making way more. If you want to make 500 grand a year, hang around Andy Albright. He's going to skew that average way up. Hang around people that are making that much money. Okay, it's going to change how you think because you expose yourself to the way that these people think. Like if you ever watch Shark Tank, why I love Shark Tank is it exposes how these wealthy investors, Mark Cuban and the Mr. Wonderful and Herjavec, and they expose how they think about stuff. And when they say stuff, you're like going, my gosh, man, they think on a different level. Yes, they do. They're human beings just like you, but they have changed the way they think, right? You hang around people like that, you're going to change the way you think. So your attitude, you protect from negative influences, from news, people, any negative temptations that you might have, right? Get away from the temptations that leads you astray, that leads you to going down the wrong path. And you know what they are. You know what they are. You know what gets you off your game. You know the little things that keep you from dialing the phone. I call it creative avoidance. You know what those are, right, Kathleen? You know those little things that happen to you that convince you maybe I don't need to dial right now. Man, that's just that, the devil on your shoulder, just saying, hey, you don't need to dial the phone. Hey, you can dial tomorrow. Man, it's that person, that devil on your shoulder, man, that will keep you from becoming great, right? So you got to be careful from who you listen to and what you see, the things that you take in and what you see. So you avoid negative, right? But at the same time, find the positive influences, right? So how do you do that? So you need to plug into the Alliance Zoom calls. So today we had Andy Albright, right, talking to Spencer and Brandon and Jason Mathis. You heard some really good stuff on that call, right? I'm on that call because I could hear really good stuff. I loved the stuff they were saying. I loved how Andy was influencing his son, not trying to be an overbearing father, but just that taught me a lot. Taught me a lot how I need to be with my kids, right? So the Alliance Zoom calls, when are they? You got the Wednesday call, like today, the Wednesday call at 12:30, right? You got the product call on Thursday at 1 p.m. with Gina Hawks. Then you got the activity call on Friday at 10 a.m. It's all Eastern time, right? Then you have all our calls. It's important that you're all on all of them. And I know everyone says, well, if I'm on all these calls, when am I going to make money? It's like, dude, seriously, you have all the other hours in the day that you can make money, but you need the positive input. You need to hear things that will change you. When you hear stuff these positive things and these positive suggestions and recommendations of what the top people are doing, I promise you, it will change you. You are always, for me, I always need to put myself in position of change, of growth. If I don't, then I'm going backwards. And so by exposing me to different ideas and thoughts and what people are saying, it's that one thing that I needed to hear on that one call that will change my life, right? We're not talking massive change, but do you know that every little incremental change that you make every day compounds? So the positive thing you learned today, you implement, and then the positive thing you learn tomorrow is built on top of the positive thing you did today. You see how that works? Every day, if you get 1% better every day, your life will be different 12 months from now, I promise, right? So exposing yourself to the positive, like the Alliance Zoom calls. This is something that we already mentioned, live meetings, okay? So where do you find the live meetings? You go onto the ARC, right? And the ARC in the front page will tell you where the events are happening around the country. And you look at the event that's nearest to you. I don't care if you're driving 3-6 hours, you need to go. You need to get around the people, okay? Live meetings. Be hungry to get around the live meetings. Be hungry for that, because every little exposure to someone in a live setting will have a much more serious impact on you. So this is how you change what goes in your eye gate and what goes in your ear gate, is exposing yourself to these things. Reading books. You need to be reading a book every day, 15 minutes before you go to bed at night. A positive book on the book reading list out of Andy's book, The 8 Steps to Success. There's a page in the middle of that book that has all the positive self-improvement books that we in the Alliance like to read, like to get other people to read. Books like Think and Grow Rich and The Magic of Thinking Big and Og Mandino's Greatest Salesman in the World, and all the foundational books that I grew up on. Like, how can you possibly make the money I make if you haven't read the books I've read? How could I make the money Andy's making if I hadn't read the books he's read, right? You got to duplicate their reading habits. You get around positive people. Here's the other thing, self-affirmations. I love what John said, man. Affirmations. Speak it into existence. The power of the tongue, the power of the spoken word. God created the world through words, right? Let there be light, right? This is our opportunity to positively influence ourselves by what comes out of our mouth. By the same token, when negative stuff comes out of your mouth, that will also influence you in a negative way, right? The self-limiting beliefs that you give life to by actually uttering it. It's one thing to think it, but when you utter that word, guess what? You listen to yourself saying it again, right? Minimize the negative that comes out of your mouth, and man, you will be so much better, right? So how do you minimize what comes out of your mouth, right? It's like me saying, don't say negative things. Your mind doesn't process don't. So how do you do that? Positive affirmations, baby. Positive affirmations. Always think before you speak, and make sure what you speak is a positive affirmation about yourself and what you want to accomplish in your life. Huge, 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 huge thing. So shore up the mindset, right? The mindset and attitude. Okay. You know what? I'm using it. Oh, well. And then I know we're kind of close to the end, but let me finish up with this. So these are the mindset things. Okay. So this was we covered mindset. Okay. Now it's action. Action. Implementing work, the work part. So it's mindset and attitude, and then work. Work will continue to improve upon itself when you commit to consistency, right? So we call this consistent, persistent behavior. Commitment to continuity yields emotional stability. We work all in cycles. We get up in the morning, go to bed at night. We eat when we're hungry, like we're supposed to eat when we're hungry. We all live in cycles, right? The Lord built, our world in 7 days. 6 days, he rested on the 7th day. We all operate on cycles. Daily cycle, weekly cycle, monthly cycle, right? Quarterly, semi-annual, annual, right? We all work in cycles. And the cycle of consistency is what will keep you going way more than anything else, right? It's being consistent at what you're doing. So what kind of work are we talking about? Well, it's that thing, dialing the phone, right, Kathleen? Dialing the phone consistently, okay? Running appointments, talking to your upline, talking to me consistently. The top people that do well with me call me every day. Talk to me every day, okay? Now, if you're just going to twiddle your thumbs and not do any work, then I don't want to talk to you. But if you're working, then you need to be talking to me, okay? Because we need to help you get better and better and better what you're doing, okay? You and I need to talk all the time. So I promise you, some good's going to happen. I've got our daily, Kathleen's on that call, our daily huddle up call at 9 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. And that's where we kind of do accountability, but taking action every day. Okay, so what does this action mean? It means having a schedule that you commit to. And here's what I talked about today on our huddle up call was being committed to being a slave to your calendar. Okay, right? I changed my life long term when I decided to be a slave to my calendar, where if I put in my calendar, I was going to do it. Come hell or high water, I was going to do it. And so I let my calendar guide my life. And I sent out this video on our thing on scheduling a guilt-free calendar. You need to listen to that video, guilt-free calendar, guilt-free schedule. You can look it up on my YouTube channel. You've got to listen to that because it teaches you how to prioritize your life and the things that you care about. What I said this morning was, if someone followed you during your day, if they're a fly in the wall, if they're spying on you, could they convict you of the things you cared about? Like if they watch what you do and listen to what you said and listen to your communications with people, would they know that you valued your relationship with God like I value it? Like, okay, mine, easy for me, God, family, my business, right? God, family, my business. Those are my top three things. So if someone followed me today, would they know that I love my Lord? Well, if you follow me today, I said a morning prayer. I went to noon mass. So I went to church at noon, received the Eucharist, rock on. I did my 3:00 Divine Mercy devotion. I do that at 3 p.m. So, and then tonight you can see me get on my knees and do my nightly prayers. Okay. Trust me, I'm not asking for credit. I'm just telling you that it's on my calendar. So that's my God time. So if you followed me, you would see that and you would maybe determine that God is important in my life. Now, did I spend, my 20 hours? Like I sleep 4 hours, 5 hours at the most. Sleeping in for me is 5 hours. So my 20 hours, that wasn't like 15 hours. But if you followed me, you knew that those things were important enough to put on my calendar, right? My God time, family time. So family time. So I planned this concert with Ginny yesterday, right? And then today, after this meeting, I'm going to hang out with her and we're going to, do stuff, okay? We're going to have dinner together. We usually eat late. I know it's like 9:02. I promise you we're going to have dinner after I get home. We eat late. So we can do this. So if you followed me, and then I was slamming it today, man. Work, my business, serving people, helping people. I was slamming it today. So if you follow me around, it's because it was in my calendar. Okay. And I live my life by my calendar every day, every night, and I schedule everything in it. So you need to watch that video. Scheduling for success, I think, or the power of a guilt-free calendar, whatever. It's in Slack, I think, right? I send it out on Slack. Anyway, so be committed to taking daily action in your life. So at the end of the day, you can think, what did I do today to further my relationship with God? What did I do today to further my relationship with my family? What did I do today to further my business? Okay. If you're into health, what did I do today to further my health goals? When you can ask yourself at the end of the day, it's a reflection. What could happen in each of these areas? What could have been better? And then how am I going to make tomorrow an awesome day, right? If you can say every day, I'm further ahead today in all these areas, man, you had a great day. You had a great day. Even if not so good stuff happened, how did you react to that not so good stuff? How did you react to it? Did you react in a mature, unemotional manner? Did you take care of, oh, is that the one? Yeah, that's it. So you can here's the video. Well, that's not the video. Anyway, Laura, if you can chat that out, that'd be great. So look, if it's important enough to do in your calendar, and it's important enough to do to change your life. If you can implement protecting your mindset and developing your mindset and attitude, and then take action in your life on a daily basis in all aspects of your life, because I promise you, you become a better husband, father, sister, brother, mother, parent. You'll be better in insurance. If you're a better servant of our Lord, you'll be better in insurance. It's living a fulfilled life is what we're really talking about, that you're fulfilling all the things that are important to you. And I think that's the thing that causes the greatest frustration. If you ever wanted to get the rid, here, I'm going to save you a bunch of psychology therapy sessions right now. Okay. If you ever want to look at the root of your anxiety or root of your frustration and pain, and it's because what you're doing is incongruent with what you value. Simple, man. The things that you're doing is not fulfilling the things that you value in your life. And so there are two things with that. What do I value? Having a real conversation with yourself and figuring out what do you really value in your life that's worth your life, worth giving yourself away for. You figure that out, and then figure out, what am I doing every day to fulfill that which I am passionate about, the things that I love, the things that I care about. What am I doing to get further there? When you start lining up and becoming congruent with the things that you want and value, things you value in your life to what you're doing, and they're all lined up, praise the Lord, man, you are on your way to having the most awesome life, because what happens with the life lived in that manner is a life that produces fruit. You'll know a tree by its fruit. And the fruit that we're talking about by you living a fulfilled life is the fruit of accomplishment, the fruit of success, the fruit of making an impact on other people's lives. So that's why I measure success. Do you make a positive impact in someone else's life? Did you do something for someone that they couldn't do for themselves? And here's the other one. Will they ever be able to repay you? To me, that's the ultimate. The one who couldn't repay you, the one you did something for, right? I think ultimately, don't we all want that? That we want to make an impact, positive impact on this world, right? And I think with our business and the stuff that I've talked about is the stuff that, man, will make a difference. You will make a difference. Control your mindset, attitude, and then take action towards the things that mean something to you, right? The things that you care about, and line and make that congruent. Man, success is just action and mindset, attitude away, right? So, man, thanks everybody for being on here. God bless you all, man. I appreciate you. I'm praying for you. I pray for you every day, every morning, every night. So, at least you got that. Anyway, man, God bless everybody. See if I can stop